Orlando struggled last season and made matters worse when they traded Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova, and Domantas Sabonis for basically 1 year of Serge Ibaka from the Thunder. At least Ibaka is somewhat of a proven commodity who should add a lot to the Magic. Vogel is a good coach, and signing him was a good move, but the Magic don't have enough talent to fully utilize Vogel's potential. This problem is further compounded by the logjam in the front court with Ibaka, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, and Bismack Biyombo all battling for minutes, unless they plan to play Gordon at the 3. I don't believe the moves that Orlando made will set them up for success, and I will be surprised if they won more than the 35 games they won last year. The Atlanta Hawks signed Dwight Howard this offseason to fill the void left by Al Horford. Is it safe to say that the Hawks downgraded at that position? Howard rebounds better than Horford, but that's about it, as the less explosive Horford blocks just as many shots. Dwight Howard is also way more injury prone, and that well-chronicled locker room cancer seems to follow him wherever he goes. Howard is a reclamation project for the Hawks. If he doesn't get his mojo back with his hometown team, it won't happen anywhere else. Dennis Schroeder is not a full-time starter after the departure of Jeff Teague, and Schroeder has shown glimpses of greatness, and he should be fully motivated now. Atlanta should still be a good defensive team this season, but the team still doesn't have a go-to scorer. It's a pretty noticeable issue, and it will continue to be an issue until they find that player. The Hornets were one of the 4 teams in the East to finish with 48 wins, but tiebreakers forced this team to the 6th seed. Charlotte went through several hot and cold streaks last season, both winning and losing 7 consecutive games at different points of the season. The Hornets finished 11th in the NBA in points per game and 9th in points allowed per game. This summer, the team focused more on trying to keep the team together rather than adding big-name free agents. The most significant offseason moves were holding on to Marvin Williams and Nicholas Batum. But the Hornets lost 3 key players from last year's team in Al Jefferson, Jeremy Lin, and Courtney Lee. Losing those guys could have a significant impact on this team's success this upcoming season. The Hornets have to rely on young guys like Jeremy Lamb, Frank Kaminsky, and they also have to rely on the health of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist to make up for those losses. If Charlotte can play at a more consistent level the whole season, they could end up being a dangerous playoff opponent. Plagued by both injuries and a defense that ranked 21st in the league in points per game, the Wizards struggled to a 10th place, 41-41 finish last year. Simply just staying healthy could be a recipe for success for this team. Wall and Beal are a lot of fun to watch when they're both active, and Beal's new extension guarantees that these two will be the faces of the franchise for the next few years. Unless the reported on-court feud between the two is a bigger deal than people think. I personally don't think it's a big deal as long as they both have the same goal in mind at the end of the day. Markieff Morris gets a full year with the Wizards and will provide good production at the power forward spot, something they lacked during the first half of last season. Any team with a young core like this is fun to watch, and Washington should be able to outplay last year's 41-win team if they play up to their potential. Dwayne Wade's departure defined the narrative of Miami's offseason, and the contentious way that he left certainly upset many fans. Although it's easy to simply focus on Wade's absence for 2016-17, but the Heat will also be without veterans Luol Deng and Joe Johnson, moving the focus to younger players like Hassan Whiteside and Justice Winslow. Whiteside and Winslow are both good players, but it's difficult to see them carrying the Heat by themselves, especially if Chris Bosh is unable to play again. It will be intriguing to see how much Josh Richardson continued to develop after a surprising rookie season. Nobody could have predicted that Josh Richardson would have been an important player for the Heat in their playoff run. The Miami Heat are an interesting team this year, but it's hard to see them winning anywhere close to 48 games again. Expect them to take a major step back. I don't expect this division to have 3 48-game winners this season, but it still should be a tight division race once again. Atlanta, Charlotte, or Washington could easily wind up being the best team, and all 3 seem like safer bets to finish in first than Orlando or Miami. I have coming in 5th place, the Orlando Magic. The Magic could possibly be one of the best defensive teams in the league, but can they put the ball in the hole? Besides Vucevic, who can you really rely on to score the ball night in and night out? It will be another losing season for Orlando, and I have them winning around 22 to 28 games. Coming in 4th place, the Miami Heat. Going forward, the Heat have a trio of nice young players in Winslow, Whiteside, and Richardson that they can move forward with for the future. The availability of Chris Bosh makes it hard to predict how the Heat will fare this season. I believe he will be able to play this season, and I have the Heat winning 32 to 36 games. Coming in third place, the Charlotte Hornets. I don't believe the Hornets did a good job replacing their 3 big losses in free agency. I don't see Marco Bellinelli, Roy Hibbert, or Jeremy Lamb giving them the same level of production that Lane Jefferson and Lee gave them. I see the Hornets winning around 35 to 40 games. Coming in second place, the Atlanta Hawks. I expect Dwight Howard to give the Hawks around the same production as Al Horford did last season. Dennis Schroeder could be an upgrade as a full-time starter than Jeff Teague. I feel he has the tools and the potential to be an all-star level point guard. I expect that rookie DeAndre Bembry or Taurean Prince will have an important role with the Hawks this season. I have the Hawks winning around 35 to 40 games. And coming in first place is the Washington Wizards. The Wizards have the talent and experience to bounce back from a disappointing season to get back to the playoffs. John Wall and Bradley Beal will play up to their abilities and have all-star level seasons. Markieff Morris and Kelly Oubre could be X factors that could have this team battling for home court advantage in the first round. I have the Wizards winning around 44 to 48 games.